Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. So before I start the review, I want to do a couple little updates here. So, I opened up a Patreon, which, I held off on doing for a while. I've got the link in the description. Like I said, there's no pressure on that at all. I already got 4 patrons, which I'm very thankful for. I want to thank everybody. Like I said, if it's $1 or $2, I don't care. It's good to know I've got support on that, and anything I get from that's going to be used towards the channel. And when I started to get those patrons, I decided to invest in a capture card. Even though the amount of money I got on there doesn't equal the value of the capture card, but I kind of got inspired, and I was like, you know what? People support me this much, and people said for so long they want to see gaming videos. So you're going to finally get that. Like I said, you could see on my channel, I reviewed the product that I bought. So you're getting those vids. People were saying, what kind of vids are they going to be? Are they going to be, one of my patrons, Awkward YouTuber, wanted to know, what kind of vids are they going to be? They're going to be both. Mainly reviews, but I can do Let's Plays if people want to see that. That's definitely an option on here. So anyway, guys, just want to give you a little update. Let's get right into the Raw review. And, here's another post-Mania show that I'm not even, I don't even know where this company is really going. I'm taking a look at this, like, just writing out the show right here. And there's nothing here really worth talking about. I'm going to talk about it anyway. But there's nothing even really worth really conversing over here. It was uneventful. We just got done with Mania, and actually we're getting a better card at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I mean, to me, they seem like they're more invested. The whole controversy with the Undertaker, Rusev, Jericho match, even that crazy business was more exciting than any of the build for WrestleMania. So, right away. And the card looks better, honestly. It really does. I mean, you're getting a steel cage match over a regular match. You're getting a 50-man Royal Rumble. You're getting John Cena versus Triple H. I mean, this already looks like a better show, to be perfectly honest. So we started off with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Heyman's cutting the same promo. And I feel like this is deja vu. Here we go again, saying the same things. I mean, he stands there saying what Brock's going to think. And we all know that Brock knows how to talk. And if anything, he would do a better job than repeating the same shtick. It's like Heyman's on autopilot. He doesn't even need to be there. You could just play a recording of an old Heyman promo, and it would do the job just fine. It's the same exact promo. The same style, the same tone of voice. I mean, and then you're going to have all the major wrestling journalists saying it was a brilliant promo. When the fact of the matter is, these are promos we've already heard. We've heard it 10 million times before. I mean, like I said, we've been hearing the same promo since 2012, since Heyman returned to manage Brock. We're going to be hearing the same thing now for years to come. Brock signed a new contract. They're giving him more money. I don't understand what these people are thinking in WWE. How could Vince want to pay Brock even more money? This guy is going to be making like $500,000 per appearance, which is fucking nuts. I mean, how are you going to pay a guy that amount of money when he only appears at certain times? You might be, okay, well, that's exactly what you just said. Give him a full schedule, with more dates on it. I understand he's a part-timer. But this is a bit ridiculous already. You want to make him the champion. He holds it for a year. I mean, he's not even there to build up the matches. They have him appearing on house shows. Oh, Brad, we want to draw people to these house shows. That's why we're booking Brock for them. Well, wouldn't you want to actually draw more people to watch on TV so you could get those ratings? And I don't care what you say. Oh, you have all these fanboys that listen to what WWE says. Oh, the ratings don't matter anymore. We don't care about the ratings. They're just DVRing the show. I'm sick of the excuses for WWE's poor performance on TV and their poor ratings. And when they can't defend themselves, they're mindless fanboys. They're loving this current product. That this is awesome crowd immediately launches into a total defense of them. The fact of the matter is, low ratings means that your product is doing shitty. There's no way around it. Like I said, there are TV shows that still get high ratings. Not everybody is DVRing everything. Like I said, the show is late at night. It's at 8 o'clock. There's more people going to be watching than DVRing it. That's just the fact of the matter. You look at all the major shows, dramas, and everything. When there's a new episode of Law and Order, SVU, most people are going to be watching the show live when it happens, when it's first broadcast, not when it's DVR. I mean, that gets, I understand you can't accurately factor in those DVR numbers to the actual ratings, but that's not the case here. Not everybody is DVRing the show. Remember, a lot of people in the YWC are bums. They don't even work. So there's and they're derelicts of society. Remember I said that? They're a bunch of shut-ins. They're not going out. They ain't partying. They ain't doing that. So it's a lot of nonsense is what it is. That's, that's the truth. If it's low ratings, there's no way that you could really defend this and say that the product is good. You can't just say ratings don't matter. Just because the ratings don't matter to you, because you're going to love it anyway, that doesn't mean that it doesn't matter, that it's an irrelevant subject matter. So Reigns comes out to defend himself here. He says one line and he walks away. I'm sorry, this is just not enough here. What happened? Reigns was showing a lot of promise. They were giving him promos with Cena to try to up his promo game. He was getting better. He was improving. But having him come out here and just say one thing after Heyman spewed all that garbage on the mic, it doesn't look good. And they can't keep going the same route. I mean, I always say, oh, they can't keep doing this. They can't keep doing that. They do it anyway. I'm just saying this is how they're going with it. And if you're expecting a better product, then you're wasting your time, basically. We're all wasting our time here. Because if you can't see that this is an ineffective segment right here, then I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, there's actually somebody approved this. Somebody said that this segment was okay to broadcast on TV. I understand it's a live show, but there is a template. Somebody did tell Reigns to go out there and just say that one line of dialogue, and that was it. Elias defeated Bobby Roode. I'm happy that Elias won here, but, they just kind of bitched out Bobby Roode here for, they got to do something. They got to retool both of these guys. Elias has now been in this company. He, debuted after Mania last year. And look at this spot he's in. Didn't even have a match at Mania. Just got his ass kicked by Cena at Mania. Take a look at Bobby Roode. This guy does the whole glorious shtick. And how lame was that? Where Michael Cole, he stops himself in commentary. Well, Bobby Roode thinks it's, and the crowd says glorious. Does it get any lamer than that? Does it get any lamer and more phoned in than he's actually letting the crowd? This just shows they let the crowd, do whatever they want. That they're going to acknowledge the crowd and they're playing into this whole IWC audience. You're going to actually, Michael Cole's going to stop so you can hear the crowd. I mean, they're letting them run the show, for fuck's sakes. Enough is enough already. These crowds are annoying as hell with their chants, and this is the only thing they like saying things like little babies around, with Bobby Roode, and the whole gimmick is so lame and nerdy. The glorious, even the theme song. I even said when it first came out, the smarks were all at Twitter. They were loving this glorious theme song, and they didn't even realize that this is not a gimmick. This is a catchphrase, and that Bobby Roode doesn't even. Like I said, how is it that TNA handled Bobby Roode way better than this? How did they manage to get Bobby Roode over in TNA, but for some reason they're failing to get him over in WWE? The guy's got a natural charisma. He's got a look to him like, few others do. I don't get it. I don't know how you could have a problem where you have to resort to this glorious shtick. It's lame. It's making him look bad here, and and Elias is like he rolls him up. It's like he got by the skin of his teeth. I'm telling you, Elias shouldn't have to be getting by the skin of his teeth. Look at him. He looks like he was about to pass out. They're doing so many things wrong here. It's like I feel like I could talk about this endlessly. I mean, like, okay, you could argue Elias got a win, but why should it be like he just scraped by? I mean, the guy is a big star. You look at everybody, you don't see Finn Balor, you don't see fuckboy Balor just scraping by, right? He's getting these emphatic wins over people that are bigger than him. So why is Elias like huffing and puffing? He's passing out at ringside. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt defeated the Ascension. I like this team, but, again, they're failing with their opportunities here. You put Matt and Bray together, and what segment was the prelude for this? The whole final deletion, the ultimate deletion rather, segment. And you had all that good content there. It was a good segment. People complained and said that TNA did it better, and that might be the case, and I agree with that. That the final deletion was way better. The leader decay was probably better. But whatever, it was an entertaining segment. And, it showed that WWE's willing to make an effort. They did, even if they were copying TNA hardcore there, still they made the effort to do it. Okay. So you could at least give them that. Now, Bray Wyatt and Matt should be engaging in more of these segments. There should be more backstage stuff. They should be cutting promos together. I mean, I like the mannerisms and the stuff in the ring where they're holding each other's heads and, just kind of laughing at each other. It's fun. But I feel like I said, this is like how they started out, laughing. They didn't know what to do, so that was their placeholder. For months on end, they would just keep laughing. Remember the whole thing? They were just laughing at one another, and they keep switching back and forth between them. It was like I said, it's like a placeholder. They didn't know what else to do, so this is what they were going to do for the time being because they couldn't figure what else to do with these characters. And, in some way, they're kind of still doing that. They put them together, and they're still laughing. There's no segments. There's nothing really creative coming of this, They're giving them opportunities in the ring, but where's the character build for these guys? You're not even giving them the opportunity here to cut a promo. I mean, you're giving opportunities to other guys to cut a promo. Chad Gable's cutting a promo on this show, but you're not going to give Matt and Bray, two of the best promos currently right now in your product, and you're going to give more time to Chad Gable. Okay. The Sami and Kevin show. God. Guys, if you want, go check out my top 10 worst WWE superstars list updated for 2018, and you will see that Zayn and Owens have greatly moved up on that list. I think maybe even Owens might have even entered onto that list, or he's definitely higher. I am so sick and tired of these guys. Now they're giving them now that Miz TV can't be on Raw, I guess this is going to be the replacement for that show. And goddamn, I mean, Sami Zayn, I'll give him this. I could see that he kind of tries. You know, he tries to put a little pizzazz in his promo, but this guy is so bland, man. I mean, he really does have the charisma of stale bread. I mean, it's kind of hard to watch. It's super cringe. It's mega cringe. It's ultimate Megatron cringe. I mean, watching this guy is hard. It's not for the faint of heart. I mean, he goes out there, he cuts these promos, and he bombs big time. The singing thing, that was seriously, that was cringe to the max. I don't think that I've ever seen something so cringy of them singing. They didn't even play the music for them to sing "You Suck" along with. They were just doing some a cappella shtick, and oh my God, I mean, it's very lame what they're doing with them. And it's annoying after a while with these guys. They're having to come out there, cut these promos, and I get that that's part of the gimmick of the Cammy thing, is that they're supposed to be annoying, that you're supposed to dislike them. I get that, but like I said, there's been like Kurt Angle back in 2000 where he was supposed to be annoying and nerdy and stuff, but he was still entertaining. You see the difference there? This is not entertaining. I know a lot of people are going to have a problem with that and say they're getting the job done because they're annoying the crowd. That's what they're supposed to do. To sit there and to not be entertained and to be annoyed, that's not getting the job done. If the job is to completely drive away an audience, then you've got it right there. You're doing it the right way. But as far as keeping an audience and making people stay on the channel for the promo, that's what I mean. It's annoying like clicking away. Not annoying like, let me see where this goes because I want to see these two guys get their ass kicked. So there's a perfect example of what I mean. So Kurt Angle comes out. You know, they start dissing Kurt, and then he tells them they're going to be in the match with Lashley and Braun tonight. So, you know, we already see the creativity. They got Lashley from TNA. You know, Braun was on a hot streak, and now they're just doomed to a series of tag matches. They were in a tag match last week. They're going to be in a tag match again this week. Backstage, you had Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel trying to suck up to Seth Rollins wearing his T-shirt. They put out their fist to kind of form an alliance with him. Seth didn't want to have anything to do with them. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre had a tag match, and they blew through Titus Worldwide. Then Ziggler, man, like, okay, this for me, this was the highlight of the show, guys. Ziggler gets on the mic. He gives the mic to Drew, and Drew McIntyre says that, you know, he's not the star they're looking for. And, you know, this is really interesting how this happened, how he said that he looked like a star. And, you know, I was getting into this promo. McIntyre has upped his game. This is not the same guy we saw in 3MB. This is not even the same guy we saw as being the chosen one. You know, Drew's upped his game. He looks like $1 million. He looks 10 times better than any period in the past. And he's saying he's not the guy that they're looking for. Like, he mentioned, like, his build. He mentioned his look. This is a guy that's 6'6", 240, 50, 60 pounds, whatever the case may be. This is a type of promo that you'd hear from CM Punk back in 2011, where he was this guy that, you know, they didn't normally have guys like this with, you know, with the tattoos and Punk size and not really that muscular. And the whole thing was like, oh, McMahon just loves all the muscular guys. And, you know, this would go on and on and on, say these guys were being held down. Now we actually, in 2018, have to watch a guy that amongst the roster of, you know, we just saw them in the previous segment, a beached whale like Kevin Owens, a cab driver like Sami Zayn. We see a guy like Seth Rollins who doesn't look like anybody, you know, he looks like Joe Schmo for fuck's sakes. A guy that's even injured most of the people in the ring, has even ended the career of a legend, an icon in Sting. And we have to sit here and watch Drew McIntyre cutting a promo saying that someone that looks like him is not accepted, is not wanted in WWE. The fact that he even came out there and was approved to do that promo, even though the promo was exhilarating and the energy and Dolph Ziggler and him, I mean, I gotta say, you watch Ziggler on the mic and this guy is like putting every ounce of energy into his promo. Why are we not seeing it? I mean, we're watching backstage, we're being bored to tears seeing Seth Rollins interacting with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. There's no effort being put into the promo. Their hearts are not in it. They're like trying to memorize lines off a script. And here are these two guys pouring their hearts, their energy into the promo. And it felt real, felt like they were really saying this because, you know, it just felt like it was like natural, like it came out. It's just saying it's kind of pathetic that I'm looking at a guy that looks like Drew, and he does look like a star, well put together guy. You know, he sounds like a star, carries himself like a star. He's one of the few NXT calls-up that actually looks like he belongs there, and he's cutting a promo saying that management doesn't even really want him there. That's pretty fucking sad. I mean, you know, seriously, years ago, this would have been the complete opposite promo. You would have been seeing a guy like Finn Balor cutting this promo, but now Balor is elevated, and Drew is looked at as like a guy who doesn't deserve. I mean, it was just surreal hearing him cut that promo. Obviously, the highlight of the night. You know, I hope they end up doing something with Drew. By today's standards, he could be a world champion. I'm being honest with you. I mean, you know, if you could give all these other schmucks like Seth and Finn Balor world titles, and you're going to tell me that fat pieces of crap like Samoa Joe are world title contenders, then yeah, by all means, I mean, you know, give the belt to Drew. At least he looks like somebody. Chad Gable, you know, talking to Kurt Angle, annoying voice, you know, but Jinder comes in, makes fun of him, Gable shoves him, we're in the ring now, and Gable pins Jinder. I get that it was like, you know, Jinder goes for his Colossus. Gable does the Survivor Series 1996 on him, gets the pin, and Gable's your winner. 2 weeks in a row. Jinder just got to Raw and he's losing 2 weeks in a row. Okay, so, you know, I'm not saying I don't like Gable. The guy's voice is grating. Like, I feel like my brain is being raked against a cheese grater every single time I have to listen to him. It was really annoying hearing him trying to be hip with Shelton Benjamin on SmackDown. You know, but the guy is great in the ring, I will say, when it comes to somebody that seems like they could wrestle. And Gable does have a look to him. You know, he's one of the smaller guys, but, you know, he does look like a wrestler. But to have Jinder losing 2 weeks in a row, he already lost his title. He's not going to get his heat back. And, I mean, you have just, I don't know what did Jinder do besides upsetting the Smarks. I mean, I'm having goofballs in the comments telling me that I need to be committed to a mental institution because I said that Jinder is better than Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and better than Finn Balor. When people fail to realize that when I'm doing this list, I'm not talking about who does the most flips. I'm talking about who looks like they belong, who's the better promo. And if you're saying that Jinder Mahal is inferior on promos than Finn Balor, then I think it is you who needs to be checked into some type of mental institution because you're not thinking properly. Jinder Mahal, you put him side by side with Finn Balor. Who looks like they could kick more ass? You know, I rest my case. Do I really need to go forward? I mean, I'm arguing with mental inferiors here to begin with. I mean, you're hooking your coattails to a Finn Balor, a guy that wears a bright blueberry leather jacket, a guy that wears rainbow shirts to the ring. This is who you want to hook your coattails up to. I mean, for God's sakes, just give it a rest, people. It's an opinion, and it's a mighty fine good opinion. Joe can't get a cameraman, so he has to do the selfie promo. Samoa Joe is actually out there in a prominent segment with Roman Reigns last week. Here he is, cutting a promo on his cell phone. Cheap, lame, lazy. People are going to say that it's a great promo by Joe just because, you know, he spent 15 years on the indies. So, you know, that automatically gives him a pass to cut a shit promo. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel try to appeal to Finn Balor. Once again, I mean, just compare any promo here to the promo that Drew and Dolph Ziggler were cutting, and you're going to see that there is a clear difference here, that there's energy and then there's low energy. And this was a low-energy promo, a low-energy segment. You know, they had their Balor Club shirts on, which, by the way, is probably one of the hideous designs. What does it say? OGBC? Which is weird, because that's my initials now that I kind of think about it. But whatever the case may be, that's one hell of an ugly-ass shirt. Braun Strowman and Lashley defeated Cammy. They just bulldozed through these guys. And, you know, here's the thing. Lashley hasn't been there in 11 years. 10 and a half years, I guess. He was there towards the end of 2007. We haven't seen this guy in so long. He's been at the top of his game in TNA. He was a TNA World Champion, a GWF Champion. What the hell it's called, I don't even know anymore. But what... He's been gone for a while. And so far, let's take a look at Lashley's current resume. He has beat up Elias. No follow-up to that. The next week, he's in a 10-man tag. He's just another face out there. Doesn't even get the pin. Barely gets any in-ring time. And here is Lashley again. You know, in the tag match, and, you know, just basically a squash match. I mean, they took no effort to address his character, to reintroduce him, to tell us who he is. The guy has not even really cut a promo, so, you know, newer fans are not going to know who he is, and they're just sticking him out there in these tag matches. It's like they haven't even reestablished him. They haven't even taking the time for us to get to know me. How lazy is this? You want to hire this guy and you want to say how big of a star he is, and, you know, I'm even listening to the commentary. I'm not even hearing them really put this guy over that much. I mean, I don't know if it's because he was in TNA that they're just kind of doing a fan service here, but they're not really invested in Lashley. I'm just saying, I've never seen such a cold, lukewarm reboot for this guy. I mean, just no effort being put into it at all. Baron Corbin beat up No Way Jose, which was a bit satisfying considering how annoying his... And now you see that everyone is dressing up like they did for Adam Rose. I mean, this is such copy and paste. I mean, and that didn't even happen 4 years ago. They just stopped doing that like 3 years ago. And they're already back to the same exact thing. And he wasn't even over. And here we are doing it again with a different guy. And Adam Rose did it better. Usually the original is better. If you're going back to the well on something that didn't even work, I mean, but then again, we're talking about the same guy who runs this company is the same person who wants to give the XFL a second try. So if you're willing to give that flaming trash heap a second go, then I guess the Adam Rose gimmick. I mean, this is a gimmick that McMahon hated, by the way. But I mean, you know, I don't know that for sure, but that's what it said on the dirt sheets, that he didn't like this. He thought it was stupid and everything, but whatever it was, and he had it like, you know, he squashed it as soon as he could. And there you go again. We're seeing more of it, just with a different guy. So Corbin beats him up on the entryway, and, you know, the match doesn't happen. Alexa Bliss cuts a promo. It's a moment of bliss. It's kind of like a public service announcement where she's trying to give a story about Naya. You know, she bullied an old lady. Alexa gave her burrito bowl, and she gobbled it all up and laughed at the old lady. I mean, this was a little bit stupid, but I mean, it kind of, at least it feeds into a little bit of a story. You know, I don't know. Like I'm saying, guys, I mean, it was a little bit humorous what they did here, but once again, I just have to say, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. The reason why I keep going back to that is because it's a template right there. That's how every promo should be. I'm not saying that you have to yell like Dolph, and I know Wade Keller's probably, stop yelling, because he hates when wrestlers yell in their promos for whatever reason. But the case is showing is show a bit of fire, show a bit of pizzazz. Why do you think I used to put these guys over? Like Enzo and Neville, they used to cut these promos. You know, Neville used to cut a promo in this type of voice. He even changed his voice for the promo because he wanted to engage his audience. These wrestlers that project, I mean, that's all I'm talking about. At least project. Make your voice a bit louder. Make your voice a bit prouder. Get it out there. Convey the message you're trying to put forth in the promo. Even if it may be scripted to fuck. It's all about how you say it. I mean, compared to it's just, I can't stand this low-key shit anymore. They need to, not the wrestler low-key, but wrestlers acting low-key. Like, just, they're just, like they've been shot in the ass with a tranquilizer dart. It's like, get out there and fucking cut the promo. Be excited to be there. I mean, for God's sakes, you know. Balor and Seth defeated Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. So, you know, I don't know. They couldn't join up with them. So I guess they're wrestling each other now, and they just, you know, they get the win. So I don't know what they're doing with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. There's nothing. I mean, you just might as well release these guys. I mean, really, what is the point? This is Mr. Perfect's son, okay, we get it. He's not as good as Mr. Perfect. He probably will never be good as Mr. Perfect. They barely gave the guy a chance. They might have given him a little bit too much too soon, but they were never committed to him. I mean, the minute he came out there, they couldn't even give him a clean win over Triple H. You know, they wanted to put him in the ring with Triple H, and they made, like, Triple H collapse, which, by the way, was something they never even followed up on 5 years ago. And we take a look at 5 years ago with Curtis Axel. Nothing has really occurred since then. You know, they haven't progressed or anything. They gave him the IC title. They were like, you know, see if he could be as good as your father, but they never got behind him. How are you ever going to get anybody over when you, like, give them a title or you give them a push and then you immediately abandon them? Then in the main event, it was a 10-woman tag. I don't even think there was a finish. What happened was, I think Mickie James, no, there was Sarah Logan, of all people. This sloppy worker that she is gives a chop block to Natalya. And Natalia's overselling the chop. Well, they told her to oversell it. So, I mean, that's nothing against her. She goes on the outside and she's crying. Which, I've said this time and time again. If they're trying to push something like, you know, feminism in WWE and that they're as strong as the men and everything like that, go for it. But I've said it time and time again, these girls still want to get dolled up. They still want to get boob jobs. They want to still show off their asses. They still want to have them cry and pout and shit like that. Then I'm sorry, there is no women's revolution. It's a joke, it's a farce, and it always has been. Ever since they started this garbage back in 2015, give or take, I mean, they've never stayed committed to it. They always say, "Oh, okay, you know, we're committed to the women. We're gonna try harder. How far we've come and everything. How far we've come." I'm looking at a close-up of Natalia's face, and she's crying because she got chop-blocked by an amateur like Sarah Logan. And she's on the outside holding her leg like, you know, like a fucking truck ran over it. I'm just like, God, as fake as you could get, as just, I mean, as mind-numbingly just bad as it could possibly get. Mickie James, she gets to her feet. Mickie James, you know, attacks her. Then Ronda Rousey comes out, and you know she's getting involved with all the girls here. And all I could say is, last week they had a better chance at a better program. You could have had this girl, what's her name, Sonya Deville, one-on-one with Rousey. Build up to a match, but whatever the case may be, there was 1,000 things going on around here. Instead of getting the revenge on Sarah Logan for the chop block, it's Mickie James instead because she kicked her after that. I mean, like I said, there's so many things going on here, and I just ranted about this, how we couldn't even get through that Carmella celebration without them pouring out 1,000 girls from the back. Whether it was Peyton Royce and the other girl, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, everybody all out there, and then Asuka comes out of nowhere, so we had like 6, 7, 8 girls out there at the same time. I said they could never just have like a one-on-one program, feud, rivalry without involving everybody else and their mama coming out there. And that's what we had here. Yeah, they couldn't even decide who they wanted to, you know, be the main rival here for Natalya. And then, you know, Ronda Rousey comes out, you know, to attack Mickie James. And, I mean, they're all over the place here with this. I mean, you know, I would have expected more out of Rousey, like more interaction or something. Push the envelope more with Triple H or whatever the case may be, but... you know, maybe they just want to end that already. Whatever, you know, it's just to see her in a big high-profile thing where she's beating up Triple H and now she's just going after Mickie James. I mean, I feel like it's a step down. We all know she's going to beat the crap out of Mickie James. I mean, if it was a real fight, all of these girls would be finished. I mean, quite obviously. And that's it. I mean, there's your show. It's a 10-woman tag. I mean... And basically, this is a way of saying sorry because they're not allowed to compete in Saudi Arabia. So, you know, they're not going to be at the greatest. You know, I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? They spent all this time and shit, you know, women's revolution and all that crap, and they're going to a place where they're not even allowed to compete. Instead of turning around and going somewhere, go watch OTRS Central's video. Schleg Daddy did a good video on this. I recommend it. After, you know, saying all this for years and years, you know, we're committed to women and everything, they're going to a place where legally they can't compete. Okay. Whatever you guys want to do, you know, you're the great charity people, great for the women and everything, inspirational to children, and going to a place where not a single girl is allowed to step into the ring. Okie dokie. Anyway, guys, this has been your Raw review. Thank you for watching. I found out how to do end title cards, so go watch this stuff. Like I said, guys, so you've got the secondary channel, the Brad Rants, which I'd like for you guys to subscribe to. You've got the Patreon, you got the Twitter there, you got the Instagram. Follow, subscribe, do all that stuff, and there you go, guys. Thank you for watching the Raw review. This has been your YWC champ. I'm signing out.